Hi, week 14. Thanks for your patience last week. I was on a steady work week in my studio and I wasn't going to interrupt myself. And I've got my coveralls on today, so that means I'm still going at it. I'm so happy. Today I want to talk about rules. Rules between me and me, or you and you. I'm not necessarily talking about rules that, like traffic rules, obviously, they were meant to keep the general public safe while driving. or I'm talking about creative rules. I think about Helen Frankenthaler, who was the first, I think she was the first to pour paint on untreated canvas. It had sort of a watercolor effect. Or I think about Isadora Duncan. I love her story, by the way. That basically she created modern dance. She showed up in bare feet and a tunic, and people were only familiar with classical ballet. To ask yourself if anything is inhibiting you, if any rules are inhibiting you, to ask yourself, where do those rules come from? And really try to take a rule and that you think that sort of runs your creative life, and step back and really take it back and think, where did this come from? Who said that? Or where is it written that that's a rule? And usually it's like some vague entity that somebody has in their mind, like they've made it up that this is, a rule. I also want to say there have been rules, but they're always broken or they always evolve. Like even within my art experience, it used to be that in the beginning, watercolors were priced lower than acrylic paintings. And now that's not even the case anymore. Like, it's just, rules evolve. It only takes one person to decide they're not going to follow that rule. And then all of a sudden, it's no longer a rule. I never follow recipes exactly. And in fact, through experimentation, I've created one of my most favorite soups that I always have on hand. When you break rules, you experiment, right? And I wish I could tell you how many experiments have failed between me and me. But for some reason, it's worth it to get that one time where you experiment and something really exciting happens. And that's, it doesn't make sense that I would keep experimenting from all the experiments that I toss away. The ratio to experiments tossed away to the experiments kept are nil, but the experiments really get me somewhere. And by experimenting and just giving myself permission to try anything gets me to different places and new places that I never thought I could ever arrive at. It may not be the direct way. It's never the direct way. It's not from point A to point B. And I know there are people that want to get from point A to point B, but I don't think creativity is a point A to point B thing. I don't even think cooking is. I don't think reading is. I don't think journaling is, for sure. So think about a rule that keeps you kind of locked in or inhibited creatively, and just think about where it came from and really ask yourself if it's a valid rule or something you're just vaguely carrying around. And what would happen if you broke that rule? What would happen if you broke that rule? All right. See you next week, Wednesday. Have a great day.